Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of Don't Fall Behind series, which is basically a day-to-day upload that I'm going to be doing leading up to the launch of the game. This way, you can start absorbing information one by one on a daily basis, or something that you can share with your community. That way, you don't feel lost or you don't feel behind because you're missing out on a lot of stuff. And the reason why I wanted to tackle today's topic is because yesterday I uploaded a video which basically includes a lot of grinding. And with that, a lot of grinding, you're gonna get a lot of pieces that you want, but you're also gonna get a lot of pieces that you don't want. So one of the things that you do, first of all, before we delve into this, the things that you do on the pieces that you don't want. So let's say that you have something that you don't really want in terms of like a piece of equipment that doesn't have the traits that you want to put on your current gear. And let's say, for example, that it's not really selling for a decent amount in the marketplace once you checked, and you would rather not sell it and have something else to use it for. You can always just dissolve it, and then you'll get like certain amount of precious magic powder. Same thing with blues, right? They'll give you like a blue and then a chance for purple. These precious magic powders are used to craft crucial things in game, like certain pieces of equipment, or the most usage that they see is the growth stones, right? Your purple growth stones, which you'll need. And let's say that you have an ample amount of these precious magic powders already. What do you do then? The next thing that you do is basically resonance. So before I get into it, what is resonance? So resonance is something that's super late game, but it's something that I'm bringing up now because it's something that's good to put into mind. So when you're grinding, and then when you start to notice that you have a lot of equipment clogging your inventory or clogging your storage, for example, you can do something like this. So let's go ahead and delve into this one. So resonance is basically something that is only for epic equipment. So if I click this thing right here, you can see resonance effects on here. And then if I click on here, resonance effect. But if I click on a blue piece of gear, it doesn't have it. So resonance is basically once you've filled up your trait tiers all the way to max, right? All tier 4 traits, all three of them, right? This is when the resonance effect starts to open up. And basically, resonance is just extra stats, right? It's like extra RNG to kind of like min-max your builds or min-max your pieces of equipment that you have ready. And these are the things that you get from it. So they are not the most egregious amounts of like stats, but they do tend to add up, especially once you start to really get your equipment settled, and then you start to decide if you want to do them for your T1 pieces of equipment, or maybe you want to start saving them for when you do your tier 2 equipment, which will take a very, very long time. So it's completely fine if you want to do it. If you want to play with RNG, just don't push your luck. And basically, what do you need in order to get these resonance effects besides maxing out your trait tiers, right? You're going to need this thing right here, this thing called a trait resonance stone. So how do you get trait resonance stone? You get trait resonance stone by crafting it out of trait resonance fragments, right? So you're gonna go to this NPC here in Stoneguard Castle. You're gonna go to the accessory NPC, scroll down, and you'll see it here. Some purple Rubrix ores, emirates, and stalins, and then 5 of each of the trait resonance stones. Now you can kind of like see why I say this is more for super like endgame, because these things right here are also used to craft your growth stones. So you can see this precious emerald ore along with magic powder, and that's why I mentioned magic powder earlier, is because you're actually going to use these to craft your growth stones. But eventually you will have maxed out +9 epic gear, and you won't have much use for these already unless you're planning on another set of equipment. But let's say that you want to stick to your current build and you want to just like min-max it. You want to take it to the next level. You want to really max it out, right? So this is where resonance comes in. Where you get those resonance stone fragments is from this thing right here, substance transformation. And you'll see why I wanted to discuss this now, because of the heavy farming video that I basically released yesterday, is because this thing will drop you at 100% success rate the trait resonance stone fragments. Now there are certain tiers to this, all the way up to 5, where at tier 5 you will get up to 15. All right, so besides the trait resonance stone fragments, there are other things that this thing will give you. It will give you precious magic powder, although nowhere near what you're going to be getting just by dissolving a certain piece of epic gear. And it will have certain things that you will always use, and there's like none 100% chance to drop tier 2 or tier 1 epics. My advice is don't count on these. If they drop, then amazing, right? It's good, especially if it's like a piece that you want. If it's not a piece that you want, then at least if it has good traits, or especially if it's a tier 2 piece of gear with good traits, you can sell it, you can extract it, sell it in the market. But really what you're going for here are basically these, right? So you're not, if you get these, it's nice, it's a bonus, but this is what you're after. You can see on the left side here, conversion tier 1. You'll notice that if I put in a piece of epic T1, it's 1091, and then weapons will give you the double that, which is, you can see, 2182. And then for blues, you can see a piece of armor, 218, and let's say this is a lithograph, but it still counts as double. You can see that it gives you 437. Now tier 2 gear will give you a lot more. So you can see here, even though it says 773, but if you look up here, it says tier 2 already. So this one piece of gear will already bring you to tier 2. And let's say that you're fully maxed out and you don't really, and it gets like, it gets traits that you absolutely don't want or are not selling for a lot in the market, then you can just like dump it on there, right? You have to kind of, you kind of have to check the market and see if the Lucent costs or the Lucent prices are worth it to you to sell. But if not, you could always dump them in here for your end game stuff. So it kind of like branches off from that video that I was showing you guys yesterday, where now a lot of the extra stuff that you have doesn't really have to clog your inventory or your storage anymore like it used to do for the rest of us. Now you can dump them all here. So that's basically Resonance in a nutshell. So it's very, very, very end game progression. It rewards people who really want to min-max their current builds before they want to move on to different weapons, for example, right? Again, it is not something that you have to worry about early on, but it is something that you have to keep in mind, because at the very least, even if you get pieces that you don't want, even if you get like pieces that don't really have good traits, just know that there is still some type of return for them, even if they don't sell for much in the market, in terms of this trait or this resonance effect. Not only that, but also the fact that the pieces that you don't want will also, if you decide to dissolve them, will give you precious magic powder, which is also something that is very important, because you will end up using them for your progression. So hopefully that kind of encouraged you to get on that grind and let you know that there are just a lot of things that grinding will bring you. Not only will it bring you Lucent, not only will it bring you gear for yourself, but it also prepares you and sets you up for your min-maxing progression once you get to super, super late game. Fully knowing that there are so many avenues for progression that grind will bring you. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Peace.